Welcome back to another installment, r/no sleep. Today, I have author Bongo Bongo's Revenge. Bongo Bongo. Title: My son has been collecting chicken teeth. I just wish I knew what they really were before it was too late. I have no idea what this story is going to be about. Chicken teeth? Chicken teeth? Let's get into it. A few years ago, I bought a farm for me and my son. It started out as a hobby, a way to distract myself from the death of my ex-wife. Eventually, it grew into a small business, and I began supplying local diners with produce. Things were going great, but it all started to fall apart after I met my new girlfriend, Mindy. Weird things started happening in my mailbox, like grains of uncooked rice, a bouquet of dead flowers, and oddly enough, my old wedding band. At the same time, some chickens had begun to go missing from one of the hen houses in my backyard. I assumed it was the work of coyotes or wolves and set up motion detector lights and cameras to catch them in the act, but none of them ever worked. After trying out my fifth set, I gave up on them entirely. My son Sean had just reached the age where he began losing baby teeth, and after receiving his first dollar bill from the tooth fairy, he became obsessed with the idea of cash for teeth. I caught him stuffing little black pebbles under his pillow one night, and whenever I asked him what he was doing, he told me he had put chicken teeth under there to trick the tooth fairy. I laughed and tried to explain to him that chickens didn't have teeth, but he was adamant they did because he found them in the hen house. I decided to humor him, and after dinner that night, we armed ourselves with flashlights and headed out the kitchen's back door to the farm so Sean could search for some of his elusive hen veneers. As we passed the barn, something felt off. The pigs were awake and had wandered into the corner of their pen to stare at the hen house. I heard them softly snorting in quick succession, like they were hyperventilating or something. Sean didn't seem to notice, or maybe he just didn't care. He skipped along singing some impromptu song about chicken teeth. As we walked away from the pigs, I began to hear something else, like wet, smacking, and crunching sounds coming from the hen house. I knew it had to be whatever was killing my chickens, and quickly scooped up Sean and ran back to the house to drop him off and get my gun. I raced back to the hen house, rifle in my hands, but I couldn't hear the munching anymore. Instead, I found a message written in hen's blood on the floor of the coop that read, "Till death do us part." Oh, there's the link around. There's the link around. It's the ex-wife. Just as I finished reading it, I heard a scream from the house. Sean, I thought, and began running back to the house. I tried the back door, but it was locked. I heard another scream and kicked the knob until it gave way. The first thing I saw were more messages written in chicken blood on the floor, walls, and countertops. Cheater, liar, adulterer. I didn't have time to read them as I barreled towards Sean's room. I burst through the door and saw poor Sean in the corner of his bed, his sheets pulled up to his eyes. "Sean, are you okay?" I said. He didn't respond, but it looked like he was staring at something behind me. I slowly began to turn around and found myself face to face with the rotting corpse of my ex-wife. She shrieked and pounced on me. I was so shocked I lost my balance and found myself on my back with the corpse of my ex trying to bite and claw at my face. Still clutching my rifle, I pushed the length of it into her chest to keep her snapping maw away from me. My hands were getting sweaty and I was losing my grip on the gun. I looked up and saw a centipede crawl out of one of her nostrils and slip under her left eye. All of a sudden, she stopped biting and her head began to violently shake around like a cocktail mixer. She opened her mouth and a sea of bugs and insects flooded out, covering my face. Oh man. You have two things going on. You have dead ex-wife, also dead mom for the child that's in the corner, absolutely traumatized from this. And then she opens her mouth. I imagine like the Mummy, where the sand face opens up and all of the scarabs come flying out. That's what I'm imagining. I rolled over, dropping my rifle to wipe bugs off my face and out of my mouth, when my wife bit down on my arm, hard. I heard bone snap and I went blind with pain as my arm wilted in my dead wife's jaws. I screamed and swiftly tore my limp arm out of her mouth, taking several of her little rotten teeth with it. I began scooting backward and blindly reaching for my gun, and by luck I found it. I put the stock to my shoulder, rested the barrel on my shattered arm, and fired it into her face, sending her nose somewhere into the depths of her skull. The thing sputtered on the floor while viscous and bugs oozed out of its new face hole. I ran over to the bed, grabbed Sean with my good arm, and sped outside of the house. My ex-wife's wails followed us all the way out to my truck and were only muted by the radio blaring to life. We raced down the road and were about halfway to the police station when my heart sank. Mindy was supposed to come over sometime after dinner. With only one good arm, I had Sean use my cell phone to call Mindy, but it went to voicemail every time. I turned the car around and put my foot to the floor until we were about a block away from the house. I could see Mindy's car in the driveway, and I skidded my truck onto the front lawn, locked Sean in, and I ran inside. The house was dead quiet. No pun intended. So quiet, my own breathing was deafening, and every squeaky floorboard felt like an atom bomb going off. I checked every room in the house until all I was left with was my bedroom. I put my hand on the knob and slowly cracked the door just an inch or so, and was greeted with the most rancid odor I had ever smelled in my entire life. I took a deep breath in and held it as I opened the door, then immediately exhaled into a coughing fit as I fought the urge to vomit. On the bed was Mindy. Her stomach was hollowed out like somebody had taken a giant ice cream scoop to her abdomen. I couldn't believe my eyes, and I think I went into shock because I couldn't explain to you just why I began walking over to her. The tips of her ribs gleamed in the moonlight creeping in from the window. It shone over the black, empty cavity, making her bones look like teeth in a carnivorous maw of a beast. I was now standing beside Mindy. I could see that something was carved into her forehead. Gutless bitch. I knew the words were meant for me. The etching was so deep, I could see the white of her skull. I stumbled back, slipping on a piece of intestine that had been carelessly discarded, and rushed back outside to see Sean. I hopped back into the truck, and it dawned on me that in the whirlwind of chaos that had just unfolded, I hadn't even called the police yet. Almost worse, I didn't know what the fuck to tell them. What are you going to tell the police? Hey, there's a dead body in my house, and it looks like it got scooped out with an ice cream scoop. It wasn't me. Me and Sean have since moved, and I ended up telling the cops a deranged woman had broken in and chased us out before butchering my girlfriend when she got home. It was all true. They said my story checked out, but they never found who killed her. Rather, they never found my wife. We've traded the farm life for a nice, safe apartment with very few hiding spots, and have been living modestly. But the reason I decided to share all this is because this morning, Sean ran up to me, hands cupped. "Look, Dad," he said before uncupping his hands to reveal small, dark, rotten-looking pebbles. "I found chicken teeth under my bed this morning." I think I get the story. It's a good story. Some of the sentences are really, really long and hard to get through, but we got it. We got it done. Very, very descriptive. Good writing. So my guess is that the chicken teeth were the ex-wife's teeth. They talked about it in the beginning. Sean, his boy, found them in the chicken coop. So she must have been hiding in the chicken coop, eating chickens. That's why there was a dead chicken in there, or dead chickens. Something was eating his chickens. And now they're at this new place, and he found chicken teeth, which means that she's probably lurking around somewhere. You could tie up a lot of loose ends with a part 2 on this. Appreciate each and every one of you. Please, if you like the videos, please subscribe, please like them. I appreciate you all. I am the Mid-Grade Masochist. Farewell.